Hey, everybody, this is Brian, the writer. Welcome to 5 Minutes with Brian. I appreciate you being here. Appreciate you spending some time with me. I love my YouTube fan base. You guys are great fun because I can actually watch and see who's watching what videos, right? And some of them are getting some pretty good view numbers out there, at least for me, at least for little fish like me, little fish in the sea like myself. I appreciate it. I did a 5 minutes with Brian recently, talking about things that sort of annoy me at the cons. I told you, don't get offended. Don't get offended. These are just observations from years and years of doing these shows. And I'm going to tell you, I loved uh, I loved tiptoeing that wire as closely as I did that I decided to just make a second video on a similar topic. So this is at Annoyances at the Cons Part 2, Annoyances at the Table. Now, these aren't necessarily behaviors in terms of buying that kind of drive me crazy. They're things that people tell me that make me go, really, really? I roll. So don't take this the wrong way. I know, and again, I'm not singling anyone out here. There's nobody particularly driving these two rants. But at just some things that struck me as I was standing around at a con recently, things occurred to me, and I'm like, huh, you know what? Interesting. Okay, so the first one. Let's get into the first one. People come up to my table and do this. It's legit. It's kind of weird. They say, "Oh, well, let me tell you about my book idea, Brian. As a matter of fact, if you want to, feel free to use this idea. It can't miss a hit." I know a lot of authors out there that go, the second we hear that, the second we're kind of done with you, because it's annoying. It's just annoying. First of all, my standard response when you say anything like that is, okay, well, why aren't you writing the book then? Oh, well, I don't have time to write a book. Oh, okay. Well, I have time to write my books. I don't really have time to write other people's books. I don't have time to write my books, to be honest, but you make time, you do what you got to do. Do what you got to do, right? Okay, so that is like the first thing. The second thing that annoys me is people come up to the table sometimes and they'll say, "Oh, I'm always so impressed when I see all these books." Now, the reason I say that this is a little bit annoying is not because it necessarily offends me in any way or upsets me in any way. I just think that don't be impressed, buy a book, support indie authors. It's tough enough to make a go of things out there. You support an indie author, it really does make our day. Even if you're buying, one of my cheaper titles, it still makes me really happy because it means that something I've written and loved and put my heart and soul into is moving on to somebody else who's going to appreciate it. Um, that to me, that's the best thing in the world. If don't be don't be impressed, become a fan, become a reader. Okay, the last thing, and this shocks me because I hear it at shows where uh, you will run into readers. They will say this to me, and it'll make me go, "What? Oh, I don't have time to read. Why are you at a book show? Or why did you stop at an author's table?" Um, Typically, when I go to shows, and I refer to it as fishing, yeah, to a certain degree. You are one table in a million. Book shows are great. Like I just came back from AuthorCon 2 or 3. The reason I think AuthorCon's great is because the people who are going are readers. They're not there looking for clay pottery, um, crocheted crocheted washcloths. They're not looking for um, the little girl crocheted little girls that you put on top of the paper roll in your bathroom to hide it. No, they're not looking for that. They're looking for books. So these are automatically readers. Um, so if you show up at a show and you tell me that you don't have time to read, what are you doing there? And if you're trying to tell me that to get it out of a conversation with me, you could have just done that when I said hello and you said hi and just kept moving. That's fine. I got no problem with it. You're not going to hurt my feelings. Trust me, you don't need to respond. Um, like I said, I do a thing called fishing. I call it fishing. When I'm sitting there at my table and I see people walk by, I say hello. Now, some of you are going to rightly point out that that's not necessarily fishing, that's just being polite, and you're right. However, in today's day and age, we tend to forego that kind of politeness, the niceness, and I think it's sort of a lost art. So, I think people really, really do appreciate it when you say things like "hello." It's sort of like casting a net, right? That hello, and if they say hello back, bring them over to have a little chat, to read the backs of your books. I found that my conversion rate, and this is for my fellow authors out there, my conversion rate on sale, when I have gotten somebody to read the back of the book, is really high. It's getting them to read the back of the book that is the challenge. And how I do that is when they're walking by, I say, hello. And they come over and I said, and they look at the covers and they see their beautiful covers. And I say, please, please feel free to read the backs of them. I promise you that you will not break the books. And people will pick them up and they will take a look at the backs of them. And now this is all aside when we talk about the super fans. I do have some super fans out there who will come to the shows that I'm at and stop by, and they will look for my next novel. I love these people. I know their families. I know a little bit about their histories. I know they're just wonderful people, and I appreciate them more than they can possibly know, because sometimes it's actually their kind words that keep me going when I really just want to quit. Okay, so that's about it for 5 minutes with Brian. I know I've gone over 5 minutes today, but whatever, it's fine. We've been delinquent in making videos lately. We're gonna rectify that as soon as I can stop putting things off. But okay, all right. You all have a wonderful week. This is Brian the writer saying